Welcome to Her Real Estate Journey, the podcast where we celebrate and empower women in real estate. I'm your host, Lisa Dillon. Each week, we'll delve into their journeys from the struggles they've faced to the glories they've achieved. Our guests are rock star women agents who are sharing their experiences, insights, and advice to help you succeed in your own real estate career. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, this podcast is for you. Together, we'll explore the highs and lows of the real estate industry, learn from each other's experiences, and build a supportive community of women who are making their mark. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let's get started. I'm super excited that you decided to hop on Her Real Estate Journey because this is all about you and
Wonderful.
your journey. And I'm speaking with Tanya Castillo today. She is in Southern California. And just super excited to get to know a little bit more about your journey and what you do. I am in Southwest Mississippi.
Wow.
And we have a huge migration of California people that are coming to me.
Well, I'll send them straight to you.
Yes.
A lot of people are going out of California. That's true. A lot of
so
the sellers I
expensive.
have are going to retire somewhere else. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is that what's like your biggest challenge in California right now as far as real estate goes?
Housing is very expensive. Very expensive. It's gone way up. And me being in so many years, I mean, I've seen it go way up. And even with high interest rates and they've gone down a bit, it's still very, very high. So that's a challenge for some first time buyers, but I try to help everybody get into something.
I can't even imagine paying California prices. That's just crazy to me.
They've gone way up. Yeah.
Yes, and they've gone way up here too, but nothing compared to you. So
Yeah, and I'm in a suburb of LA, so like, but still our prices have gone way up. So like probably the median price is like I just listed a pool home for $679. And it used to be like you could get it for, close to 400 or 360
wow.
or, so it's gone up quite a bit.
Oh my gosh. So my average price point here is between 150 and 200.
Oh, wow. That's how
Closer.
the prices were when I started in the super
Wow.
prime, and I started super prime. Like
Oh
I
my
was south of the
gosh.
boulevard in Sherman Oaks, and my grandpa
Okay.
was a broker manager. So I started my career there. And before cell phones, before they used to give you a book of real estate. That's how old I am. I'm giving my age.
I can't imagine. So you work this. I'm assuming you have children?
I do. I have 3 children and 4
Wow.
grandchildren. Uh-huh.
Awesome. So what I love to learn about different women is everybody's at different stages in their life. So you've been an agent for 30 years
Plus.
plus. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's
I know. I went on a
incredible.
listing appointment and she was like, you could just go put 25 plus. You don't have to say.
Well, I've been an agent for about 8.5 years now,
Oh,
going
super.
on 9. So
It's a wonderful thing. Yeah.
I love it. So why did you get into real estate in the beginning?
Well, my grandfather was a broker and he
Okay.
was so wonderful. And when I was 18, I didn't even think about it. I said, I'm going to do what grandpa does. And I
Wow.
was shy when I started. I was shy and I got my first sale in the first month. I sold south of the boulevard. It was amazing. And I was so scared of everything when I started, but I learned.
Yes.
And then I used to answer the phone. We didn't have a secretary there. And he was like, oh, you're really good on the phone. We only want you to answer the phone. It used to be get the listing. They're like, here's pizza and there's the phone book. That's
Are
how
you
we did it then.
serious?
Yeah, it was different. And, but it taught you, you can do it. If you want to do it, put the effort in and you can do it. So it's kind of old school, but I like the new technology now and I get a
Yes.
lot of help and I have a team behind me. So, I like to talk and make the deal. And then I'm like, okay, here's the pictures and here's the this and that. And let's do it.
Go do
All
it.
the videos and all those things, they help me. I have
Yes.
marketing behind me and all that.
Well, I definitely want to come back and touch on your team. I want to first kind of talk about, so you first got into this, you were 18 years old. So
I
I'm
was.
assuming you were single, no kids, the whole
Yes, no
deal.
kids,
So
no
you
kids.
literally done this every single stage of life. That is absolutely
Yes.
incredible.
I used to like put a lot of makeup on, and I dyed my hair blonde back then, and
Oh my
I wore this suit, and I, tried to look very old when I was young, and now it's the opposite.
gosh.
But it's funny,
It's
they were
funny how
all
that
older.
changes.
They were all older when I started. It was a
Wow.
different system. Now there's a lot of young people and a lot of teams, and that wasn't the thing in those days.
Gotcha. So talking to the brand new agent, and
Yes.
you've been around in what is your as far as getting a quick start, what would be your advice to the new agent?
I think I would not be afraid to share with other agents and learn from them, because that didn't happen in those days.
Hmm.
But I mean, I was lucky because also my grandpa was a broker, but it's not like he held my hand. He was like,
Right.
you can do it. You go do it. It was pretty much you're on your own. But now you have the advantage of these big teams, and it makes sense to pay a team, for help, or, you're learning. I think it would be wise. I would have joined a team when I was able to sooner.
Okay.
I've developed my own team later, but I think cooperation gave me the most success, actually, cooperating with
Yes,
other agents, because you learn, because someone always knows more than you.
absolutely. I know I personally learn something every single day. And that's
Yes, so I would learn from people that were more experienced, and even if you don't join a team, but you could like do a deal with somebody and
yes.
learn, you know. And it's okay to share the commission, because it's better than no commission, if you're learning. Yeah.
Right? Definitely.
Yeah.
I love that perspective that you now I personally teams are not a thing around me.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I'm very interested in teams and how that works for you. And you went from the brand new 18 green
Yes.
agent and now how many people so you're the team leader now?
I am the team leader. I
Okay,
have
wow.
a cooperation with another top producing agent, which I made a deal for all his data. So I have like my data and his. So like I doubled the the leads that I have in pre leads. People that haven't sold before. So I've been
Oh,
working that exclusively right now, and it's been going well. But you build that up where people are like, oh, I only want Lisa to be my agent because she did such a good job, and then you build on that. So I would say keep contact with all the people you work with,
mhm.
and that's been a blessing to me. And I used to hustle it. I used to be like the on Zillow and run out to anybody who wanted to see a house, and I was running out every minute, you
I
know.
know.
And I'm not doing that anymore. And I mean, I think that was maybe okay for that time period of time, but I think if I were to go back, I would be a little more careful about how I spent my time, and more focused on what, not just, oh, I'm just showing up because I'm so good. Like, yeah, that was a little bit of a waste of time. But I've been through all these different seasons. I did short sales. I did, I don't know, so many different things. But the main thing is, yeah, keep focused. And um, if there's no teams, well, then that's okay too. But for new agents in a big market center, it's probably a good way to get leads and, you know,
So it's just
go
you and
forward.
your co-op agents, just two of you?
No, I have another agent and the team, and then I have marketing. I have a marketing. My daughters went into marketing instead of
Awesome.
being agents. They said, "No, you work way too hard. We don't want to do that."
My son
So,
has got a marketing degree and he's about to take his real estate exam. He's 21, so
oh,
my
super.
son's
Yeah.
kind of following my steps.
So yeah, my kids do like um one of my daughters has Mango. It's a marketing group. It's called Mango Marketing or something. But anyway, she does like top producing agents all over the country. And,
Wow.
and so she helps me do my marketing, and they
Oh,
do my flyers, and they've branded me from since forever. So when my two daughters both do that, one does websites and the other one does marketing. So like if I have a new listing, they'll do a website especially for that listing. So I come out real high end, even though I don't always do real high end, but it's very helpful to have their expertise behind it. Because I don't know how to do that. I'm just like, make it look good.
I know, just
You
somebody
know?
just do it because you can't be
Yes.
good at all the things. And that's one thing that I kind of struggled with for a while there was you have to be, not only are you self-employed, but you're supposed to be a marketing expert. You're supposed to be
Yes.
a psychologist, a marriage therapist. You're supposed to
Yes.
be know how to do budgeting and all the basics on the different types of lending. And it's just so many things you're supposed to be an
Yeah, and to
expert on.
track your numbers and all this stuff. Like sometimes I would be top producing and I wasn't tracking. I should have been tracking. And I was surprised. I'm like, oh, everybody, they all know who I am. And I was like, really? I really was like, I just felt like the little brand new girl still, even though I had been doing it so many years. And
Yeah.
but people always call me, oh, we need help with this or that. And to I guess to be the expert, it's excellent because if anybody needs help, and sometimes I go, I'm not a lawyer. I think you need a lawyer. But I
I
get all
know.
those calls when people need help. Basically, that's the only call I get almost, besides my immediate family and a few friends and everything. But mhm.
Gotcha. I get lots of calls like that too. So
I'm
what
sure you
is
get expert advice for people. They go, oh, call Lisa. She's the expert.
they do, which makes you feel really good, but then at the same
Yes.
time you want to give them the right advice too. So
Yes.
what would you say is your secret as far as what has been your success? I know other than being in it a long time,
I
what's
really
your little thing that you really give to your people?
I really love people and they feel it. They feel like they're working with family.
Oh,
I'll help people just to help them. Like I just did a little deal for one of the teachers of my children son needed to buy a house and they had to sell this little mobile home and buy a house. So it was a low end deal, but boy, I
mhm.
really worked hard to just make it happen. And it was just personal. I was just trying to help them and they were so grateful and and it made a difference for that family. So it's not only the high end, but it's about helping people and they feel it. They know, people would just go, or we don't trust anybody else. We just really want to use you. So, and I feel like I know faith is something, but I have God and I
Mhm.
always pray for everything. And even people that
Absolutely.
don't have the same religion, they'll tell me to pray for them. So they know that the spirit is
Love
there. So
that.
that has helped me a lot. I know that's not politically correct or whatever, but that's me. That's who I am.
That's
Hmm.
okay. And that's
Yeah.
okay. That is
Yeah.
absolutely 100% because I certainly would not be where I am now without my faith. So
Right.
100%. Wow.
Anyway.
Well, this being an agent, you really don't realize how much you just actually helping people. Like you're a
Yes.
salesperson, but you truly want to help. And I think, tell me if you feel differently, but if you don't truly have the heart to want to help people,
Right.
you're not going to make it in the long run. I know in the beginning you're hustling, chasing that dollar because
Yes.
you really don't get that. But if you
Hmm.
just give without intention of receiving, you just
Hmm.
give,
It
people,
comes back to
it
you.
comes
Yeah.
back to you.
Later. Maybe
It
much later. Yeah.
yes. I mean, I have helped people and they refer me, I mean, even if I've never done business with them, they refer me tons of people.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I sold, I know you're gonna laugh at me because you're in California and the prices are
No,
so
no.
high. But I had one of the sales that I did was $5,000 to a
Okay.
little pregnant single mom who wanted to put a trailer
Oh,
on this piece of property. And I was
land.
able to help
Yeah.
her get that. It was,
It's good. It's a reward just helping the
yes,
people. And that's what I feel like has helped me a lot. Or I'll tell people don't sell their house sometimes. And what agent does that? But if it's not in their best interest and they'll come
exactly.
back later, like 7 years later, I just had one that came back. He goes, you told me
Wow.
not to sell the house. And I gave him property management, not me, but someone else. I
Right.
property manage only our own and my mom's properties, but I don't do it for our insurance doesn't cover it anyway. That's not my gig. but I'll tell them don't sell. It's better to hold. It's the best way to have wealth for your family.
Mm-hmm.
So until people really need to sell, then I tell them to hold on to property or buy more property. So a lot of agents will just not care or care if the people can buy something else. So I say, well, we got to see what can you get something else? Because rents are really high here. So there's a lot of factors
Yes.
involved, So you have to make sure the person is okay, and then you could sleep good at night, right?
I love
And
that.
yeah, definitely.
That's
Definitely.
the feel good part of this is my favorite. It really
Yes,
is.
because in the end of the day, we have a boss more than our people. We have God looking over us, right? And we want to do the right thing.
100%.
And definitely, I feel very
Uh,
blessed for how far I've gotten. And like the agent that cooperated with me, he's like, "Oh, I don't trust anybody else." Like a lot of people asked for his database. And I told him, I go, we'll pray about it. And I didn't think he was going to give it to me because, there's always a bigger fish, right?
mhm.
Everybody wanted his database. Like, I didn't even want to tell people I got it. I was like, oh, they're going to be upset. But that was a blessing. That was a blessing for me. So I feel very grateful. I think that's important to be grateful for everything, and then also you schedule and put on your calendar and all those things that they teach you is very important as well. Hmm.
Absolutely. Um, okay, so what's kept you motivated all these years?
Motivation. I'm very positive.
Okay.
So, and also, I mean, the why, the big why. So,
Hmm.
like, we're Keller Williams, and they tell you, well, what's your why? So, my why is to help my family, So, I have my why.
That's
So, I
right.
think that's what keeps me motivated. And I wanted to, I started out so young. I didn't
Mhm.
come, my background was my mom was a single mom, and like I wanted to also be successful. So I had that why also. I wanted to prove that I could be somebody.
Absolutely.
So
Now,
that was one of my whys,
is your
you know.
mom also an agent? Or
No, just my grandfather.
just
My
your
mom
grandfather?
worked for Lockheed. Out here there's the aerospace and everything. So she worked in
Oh,
Lockheed
Lockheed
at
Martin.
Bird,
Okay.
yeah, for many years when I was a
Yes.
kid. And that's what she did to make it as a single mom.
Awesome.
So,
My mom also worked for Lockheed Martin,
oh,
the
that's
general
funny.
manager. Yeah, I was raised in
Oh,
Massachusetts, so all of that plastics and all of that was developed
oh.
there.
Oh,
Yes.
that's funny. My grandfather had a plastics company when way back before I was born, and he
Wow.
lost it because he gave a black man a manager position, and so they like basically shut him down for
Wow.
racism. So it was like, wow, I know. And then he went into real estate after that, but he was
Wow.
always about honoring people that worked hard, and he didn't. They were like really not racist at all. So.
That's
That was something though, making all that plastic and then losing the company. That was his background before real estate.
gotcha. Okay. Um, so what, as far as the new, let's go back to the new agent because you've got so much experience. I just love
Okay.
to touch on this. I love to share different ladies' journeys. That's my whole
Yes,
focus is there.
I
But
love it.
in doing that, helping other agents pick up bits and pieces of things that they can use in their own journey because we've all got our own journey, whether
Of
it's
course.
we've all got the good, the bad, the ugly,
Sure,
the
of
whole
course.
thing. Um, but what kind of qualities, if somebody wanted to be like you and be a
Mhm.
top producer, what what are maybe your three top recommendations?
Be true to your word. If you tell somebody, oh, you're going to be there Wednesday, be there Wednesday, or you're going to market the property in a certain way, do what you promise. Be honest. Be honest
Yes.
about everything. Like even like I was saying, if it's not good for them to sell, but later, you have integrity, so it will pay back even if you don't get that immediate deal. Make it a win-win. We want to make a lot of money for our sellers, but also it's good to be fair with everybody, you know. So I think
Absolutely.
integrity is very important. And I mean, everyone will have their own faith, but be true to your faith, and also, God, family. put you're never going to go, oh, I didn't work enough, but you might go, oh, I didn't spend enough time with the kids. So, organize yourself where you're putting your priorities straight, your family
Yeah.
and your work. So I know it's hard to have that balance because then you're top producing and you're working. I used to sit here. I worked a little overly sometimes. I would be here. I got to send the offer. I'd be here in the middle of the night, So I think it probably could have waited until 8 a.m. the next morning. So I think try to prioritize your family because that's really who you have in the end.
Now, when your kids were small, how did you make that happen? How did you
I ran
prioritize?
a, oh, I ran around with them a lot, and I volunteered a lot. I did a lot of volunteer when you have to be careful about that too, because there's not as many volunteers as people need. So that once they find someone that will do it, they'll be like, oh, now you're the president now, you know?
And then you
And
get more
so,
stuff.
yeah, so I was running a lot of stuff for a while. And then I got the agents to volunteer and I would get the kids to volunteer. One time they said I brought too many volunteers. And I'm like, well, they're getting a taste of it. I
I
did
love
like
that.
Lions Club. I involved other agents and my kids in what I was doing. So I would bring my mom, I would bring my daughter from school, the classmates. They got their hours for school. So that's how I
Love
handled it,
that.
you know.
And you
But I
probably,
took them with me a lot. So
okay.
when they were really little, I'd work with people that maybe it's not very professional, but I would list houses. I
Mhm,
even high end. I remember having my first $1 million listing, I had a baby pulling on me. I'm like, Cassie, stop. So
mhm.
those were people in my sphere from my kids going to school at that point in time. So I mean, I just made it work, made it fun. I would take people to lunch and just make it a happy day. So and maybe it was boring for the kids, but that's what I did when they were really little. And then they were in school and they could stay longer in
Mhm.
school, or they would do homework in the office and stuff like that. They would tour homes with me sometimes. They all worked for me at one point, except for the little one. But yeah, that's how I did it.
I love that. So did you
Yeah.
ever have a certain time of day that you just completely turned it off or that you
I
felt
didn't
didn't need?
I wasn't good at turning it off, but I wish that I would have been a little bit better at that. I
Yeah.
would be like cooking and I'd be on the phone for the holidays and I didn't turn it off as much as I should have probably. I'm a little
Okay.
better about it now, finally, now that the kids are grown and I'm trying to spend more time with my husband and the same time, you know, being more of a listing agent and I have buyers too, but I have Henry and he helps me a lot as well. So there's more than one agent. So I'm like, well, we're always available, but it's not always me. I'll send him to
That's
do a lot
awesome.
too. Uh-huh. And he's an agent too. He's not an assistant. He's just a cooperative agent.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's perfect. One, I can just throw this out. Hopefully it'll help you with your marriage. One thing that I do that has really helped is I leave my phone in my car. If I go out to dinner with my husband, I just leave it in
Oh,
the
wow.
car.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's almost like you're breaking up with your phone because you're so addicted to it and you're so afraid
Yes.
to miss anything and you want to help everybody. But that's one thing that I do that I consistently do is I leave my phone in my car during yoga twice a week. And
Oh,
when I'm
nice.
at dinner with family, it's just
And working out has helped me a lot too, like walking and swimming. I love to swim. But yeah,
yes.
the phone, I haven't done that yet, but it should. I mean, I feel like everyone's addicted to the phones now too, even adults. I've noticed that, but I just
It's
kind
a,
of go, well, okay.
I
What are you gonna
know.
do?
Well, now that the
Well,
kids
that's
are grown
smart.
and now that the kids are grown and gone, now you got to date your husband. So
Yes, yes, yes. It's
it's
been different. Everything's been different now.
I'm in
Definitely.
the same stage and I love it. So
Oh, nice.
how long have you been married?
Oh gosh, 28 years.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Oh, that's funny.
28 years. That's wonderful. Congratulations. I give you a
Thank
high
you. I
five.
know, right? We made it. I
It's
know.
important. That's wonderful. It
Yeah,
takes it
you have
takes
to make
work.
it a priority, like you say, make it a priority too. It's important because I don't know, when you're raising kids, I felt like my focus was also so much on,
Yes.
volunteering and doing all this stuff. I wanted to be like the good mom, and I was trying to do everything. Oh my goodness. I think I would have
It's,
done less if I would go back. I think maybe I would do a little bit less. Not that much, but
or
a
maybe
little
just
bit.
reorganize it a little bit where you could not be the main person all the time.
I feel like it was constant. Yeah.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. It's as we grow and we learn and things change. And that's why I like to throw that out with my podcast of what we can offer those younger agents
Yes,
or
because I think you have to be careful. It's good to volunteer, but at the same time,
yes,
your kids and your husband is important. Family's very important because I think if you get too busy for your family, that's not good. And it's hard because it's a very time sensitive thing that we're doing,
it's a
like,
juggling act.
people, yeah, people want to list and you want to go show up and list the house before someone else does or whatever. I mean, I get it that
Exactly. It's like
people,
you have to
you know,
set those boundaries, but at the same time, it's hard because you're you
it
are you're
is.
you're afraid they'll go somewhere else. But as long as you provide enough value to them,
Yes. And maybe for you, where there's no teams, you could have a good assistant helping you,
yeah. One thing with
you
my
know.
company, Epic, we have free transaction coordinators, and we have all
Oh,
different kinds of
nice.
things that help, and they do all our marketing for us. So that's not my strong point. Is doing
Oh, sure. That's good then.
especially the all the technology stuff. Like it's all built in and it's all fairly simple. So I love that about it.
Yeah. Oh, that's super. And then, we're not supposed to have to do everything. The best thing we could do is be with clients and selling the properties, right? The
Right.
rest, someone else can do. Hmm.
Exactly. Hire out those little things. So,
Yes, definitely.
oh my gosh. So how are you? I know you've seen a lot of changes in the industry. How are you keeping up with all of that and growing as the whole real estate industry changes and we've got NAR changes and
Yes, that's huge,
technology and
right?
all the things. How do you adjust and grow with that?
Well, right now I want to be more of a listing agent than I used to do
Mhm.
50-50. And now I do more listings than the 50. I don't know what my percentage will be. So I think that's helpful. And I've got to re-navigate the whole buyer agreement because I used to not worry about it.
I
I
know.
know they would say to do it, but I'd be like, well, if they don't want to work with me, whatever, like I would just be like, they're going to want to work with me. It's okay. But now it's got to, I was explaining it to, we did get a buyer recently, and I was explaining it to them. I'm like, oh, well, we'll have to do some paperwork before we go out, which is new for me because I used to be like, oh, let's go and pre-qualification and we're good to go. So it's a new
Right.
little thing. And I'm offering compensation on the other side too, because I mean, I'm just telling people, and then I'm going to put it on the website, when we get a listing so people will know. But yeah, it's a whole change. I wonder what will happen. I really
Wow.
don't know what's going to happen with all that, but I would imagine if you're new, that would be really a little bit difficult to navigate.
That's well, yes and no, I guess, because if you're a new agent, you don't know what it was like before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
But you
that's
just
one
get trained on represent by representation form right
right.
away. Yeah.
Now you mentioned that you're able to put compensation on the MLS.
No, not MLS.
Okay,
On
that's
my
what I thought
website. No, no, no. On the
okay.
MLS, it's out now. So now
Right,
people are just
absolutely.
texting and they're saying, "Oh, are you offering compensation?" And then I just tell them, "Yes, it's this
Yes.
much." And then the new listing agreement is something because it says only the seller will uh comp it's only the seller's compensation and all that wordage that they put there. And so I had this gal that I just listed, and she was a contracts expert, and she was like marking out all the other spots. And I go, oh, that's smart. Um, but I explained to them that I'm going to offer for the other side. So I feel like they're trying to disorganize something that was very organized and good. So, but what are you going to do? You
They
have to
have
do it.
made everything so convoluted when it trying to make it more open.
Yes, exactly. Which it was always negotiable. Who doesn't go to a listing appointment and they go, oh, well, you go less. It's if you're willing to work less or not.
I
I mean,
know.
commissions
That's
have
just
gone down out here actually
wow.
from what it used to be, but you just keep trying to get it, and do your best at it, right?
That's all you can
Yeah.
do is your best, and you just got to roll
Yeah.
with it because they're going
So
to keep
that's,
changing everything on us.
yeah. And there's a lot of off market right now. There's a lot of off in our marketplace,
Okay.
and they're emailing off market, but they're not paying commissions. So they're already these organizations or, groups doing it. So you'd already have to get your buyer to pay commission on those deals over the price. So I haven't got heavy into working that, but that's already a thing. And I get all these emails and I get all these buyers that are trying to get the deal. And I don't want to get in that crazy hustle. So I haven't really worked it, but
Right.
it's a whole nother thing that I hadn't seen before.
Gotcha. Now, in your market, what is your most common loan type that you use?
FHA,
Really?
and
Okay.
there is
I see.
conventional as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you do any USDA where you are?
I mean, they exist, but I haven't
No.
done one for a long time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'd say our most common is FHA followed by VA, of course, for veterans, but I do
Yeah,
very
I've done
little.
some VA as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
do
not
very
for a
little
while.
conventional. I don't know why, but
And we
most
get
every
conventional too sometimes, just depends. And then there's cash too. We get all cash
cash
sometimes,
is
which
good.
I love that. We had a little house, and I actually got so lucky. I sold it myself cash, but it was just a happy accident. That was a good
Yes.
thing.
Don't
I
you
was
love it
like,
when
oh,
that happens?
yeah, yeah, it's great, especially if it's owner occupant, because then they could pay a proper price for cash. But the investors want to go so low that it's
Yes.
kind of, they just really want to get it so cheap. But
100%. Do you have like
mhm.
hedge fund buyers where you're at?
You know what? I'm not working those. I'm sure they exist because every
Okay.
kind of group out here buying. But I'm mainly mainstream with my real estate.
Gotcha. Okay. I've
Yeah.
never dealt with them. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay. So let's see. As far as your clients, as far as challenges with your clients, what do you find your biggest? It could be financial, that them buying their first home, like what would be their biggest challenge? Would it be down payment, credit issues?
Sometimes people don't have credit. Like that family that I helped, he paid everything cash.
Yes.
And so if they haven't built credit but they don't have bad credit, it can be difficult. There's one FHA program that will do it and they have to like underwrite, manual underwrite, or there's like one program that my lender will do. And I've had my lender for a long time and she works wonders. Um, but yeah, I think that's the hard thing when they don't have credit or they have bad credit. That's another problem that can happen.
Right.
And yeah, of course, down payment is also a thing. And payments are so high now with the interest rate being high. That's another thing. The buying power has gone down. So, they don't always like what they can buy, where it used to be, I feel like people always bought up to their top. And now with interest rates going up, their buying power has gone down. So it's not really, you know, exactly what they want.
Where 3 years ago they could buy up here,
Yes,
and
exactly.
now
So
they're
that
getting.
that's an issue too. But everybody wants to buy, but you want to buy kind of like what your dream or close to what your dream
Mhm.
is. Hmm.
Okay. And as far, okay, so that's your 3.5% down payment. Do you have people who are doing the ultimate house hack where they're buying a duplex or a quad and they're living in one of them and
I've
doing
had that.
FHA?
I've had that before.
Okay.
I've sold that not recently, but I have had that before, and I've had a lot of repeat people like new circumstances in their life where I've sold them before, and now they're kind of downsizing or reorganizing their life. I've been getting a lot of that. Oh, and I've get a lot of people moving out of the state too, um, for different reasons. Seems like that's been coming across a lot.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and
Okay.
then I don't get the buy because sometimes they're already. I know
I
I should be faster on that, but somehow it hasn't worked out in that direction. I
That's
know.
something that I've kind of suggested to some people is doing that. Like, hey, you could have a free mortgage and an income coming
Yeah,
in. So
smart. It's smart.
It really is. We don't have a whole lot of fourplexes here, but we do have some duplexes and um yeah. So what kind of trends do you see now in Southern California? Are you seeing it go? You said the prices were coming down.
No, prices are still high.
They're still high. Interest
They're
rates.
still the interest rates went down a bit, so that could be a
Right.
little helpful. Yeah, but the prices are still high. They've stayed steady. I don't see this crazy. There was that time where there was all these multiple offers. One
Yes.
time when it was crazy hot, I had like 68 offers on a house. And I was like, this is crazy. Had it all in a spreadsheet. So we don't see that right now, but
Right.
still the prices are higher than they were at that time, and I see the trend going at list, not so much going over list. So you really
That,
have to list well at the price that you need to get. I don't see that, oh, list it low and watch it go high. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing it more steady at where the prices are getting priced at. So
absolutely. And do
yeah,
most
that's what's
people
happening.
in your area, is it common for your buyers to ask the seller to pay their closing costs?
It does happen, especially with this. More costs are going through, not always, but you are
Mhm.
seeing that because they're trying to adjust for the higher interest rate with the loans. There's a little of that going on, trying to help out with the whole interest rate. So that has been a common thing. Not
I,
every time, but it is common, more common now than it was before.
I would say probably 95% of mine they're
Are
asking
asking.
from the
Oh,
seller.
wow.
It's
Okay.
normal. It's normal for
Yeah.
people not to have. I mean, they come to, hey, I'm going to buy a house. Well, how much money do you have in the bank?
Right.
Nothing.
Oh
Okay,
no.
do you have $500 for earnest money? Well, I'll have it next week.
Oh wow, that's tough. That's
What about
hard.
home inspection? Okay, we need $450 for that. So I try to lay it out because they really don't know. Or this is something we do every single day. But I
Hmm.
try to lay out, this is what's going to happen. This is our order. You're going to need this much
Right.
money in the beginning, and then just
Right.
the kind of basic flow of events. Because most people they do
Yeah,
this
they
a
don't
couple
know.
times in their life. I mean, I've bought and
Yeah,
sold a lot of
especially
houses.
newer.
Exactly. And they're
Yes.
scared. So it's so important to
Uh-oh.
to um just teach more than sell, I think.
So it glitched up on my end. Do you see me
Really?
okay?
Yeah, I see you fine. Can you hear me
Okay.
okay?
Okay, maybe it's just I do. I do. I hear you fine. I
Okay,
think
good.
maybe it's just lower the internet or something.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Gotcha,
Yes,
gotcha.
definitely. Well, awesome.
Yeah, well, I got one. I know you talked a little bit about one family that overcame some obstacles, but I always ask, what is your favorite real estate story? And then we can wrap it up. But your favorite, your biggest heart story of a family that you helped, that you changed their life because of what you did for them. Or everybody has that one sale that just pops out above all of them that you really felt good about, or that was really rewarding, or that you helped somebody overcome an obstacle that they never thought they could become a homeowner. um
Gosh, I feel like I had a lot of buyers like that, but I think my friend sold her house with me, Carolyn, and she got
mhm.
to go with her sister, and they were my friends. So it was very heartwarming for me personally because she's like, I wouldn't use anybody else. And I had sold her sister a house, and that was actually the highest end house that I had sold, but like they kept me dear to their hearts, And when she wanted to sell her house, and it was in the Tarzana, it was a high end home, and I did a lot to make it happen because I ended up selling it myself, but they were kind of rough in the negotiations. I'm like, don't worry, we're going to make it happen. And she got to Arizona, and her sister died shortly after, so it was
Oh,
like very important for her to get there. So that was very, and I did
oh,
everything to make it happen, and it was and she appreciates it, but also she was my dear friend for so many years. So that was my the latest one that meant a lot, you know. I
That's
helped her sell, but you know, yeah, that was, and I had to kick some money in because they were very demanding at the end, the buyers. Instead of like letting it go, I'm like, no, we're going to make it happen. We'll work it out. So it worked out for everybody. But yeah, but I really appreciate her, you know, too.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
sometimes hard working with friends and family, but when they do trust you, but you've almost got to double
Yes.
earn it. You got to double earn it. So if she loves you, she really, really
Yeah.
loves you.
Yeah. And also she works in a high-end industry, and she gives listings to like super high-end, like Beverly Hills people. And I'm not in that marketplace. So you have to schmooze with, you know, I'm kind of the regular gal. So, but it's funny for her, she trusted me too for her thing. That was important to me. That meant a lot to me, you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we made it happen. And she always says she really appreciates it. And now those buyers are still calling me to try to sell. They own like zillions of properties. They want to change out. So they actually got a hold of me recently. So that was nice.
That's awesome. So you get a lot of repeat business too. That's good. It takes
Yes,
a while
thank God. Yeah.
I know it takes, mine is finally starting to come in, probably the last
It
couple of years,
does.
but
Yeah.
it's
Well, yeah,
it's
because
like,
they have to cook for a little bit, right? Because they own the home for a certain amount of time, and then, you know, maybe they go to a higher home, or their family buys something. So yeah, it builds for sure.
their kids grow and then their kids need a house.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
definitely.
fun. That's awesome. Well, is there anything else that you want to add to it before we wrap things up?
Well, I just appreciate you calling me,
Oh,
your team, and I really love the interview with you. And it was a pleasure talking to you. And what a sweet person you are. I wish the
oh,
very best in your career,
you too,
and to be
Tanya.
very blessed in your job and your husband and your family. Family first, God first. Yeah,
God first, family second, career third.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the right way. Right, God first.
All my little things I learned in my Mary Kay journey many years ago. I love it. Well, let me wrap us up. And thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy, busy day, Tanya. And I wish you all the best with
You
your
as well.
career, with your kids, with your grandkids, with your
Thank you.
marriage. And
Thank
I
you.
just hope you get all the blessings that you worked so hard for.
You as well.
Thanks for listening to Her Real Estate Journey. I hope you're inspired to conquer your own real estate path. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Follow us on social media for updates and more stories. Until next time, keep shining and make your mark. I'm Lisa Dillon, and this is Her Real Estate Journey.